If you're a fan of the Screensavers, I know you're a fan of our next guests. Ladies and gentlemen, performing from their album Dial a Song, They Might Be Giants.
Is here to lead the way, to save the day.
Wicked little critter!
He clips the puck from Bobby Orr. He shoots, he scores!
Wicked little critter!
As he proceeds to torch the place. As he proceeds to scorch the place. As he proceeds to torch the place. Torture, scorcher, torture.
Wicked little critter!
He's a wicked little sissy bar, and he lays the patch on the top. He's a wicked little critter with a sissy bar, and he lays the patch on the top. He decides to ditch and he ditches, and nobody knows where he ditched. He's a wicked little critter with a sissy bar, and he lays the patch on the top. And he clips the ball from Havlicek, and Havlicek is used and abused. He's a wicked little critter with a sissy bar, and he lays the patch on the top. And he pops a wheelie on his mini bike, and he burns rubber and he wheels out. He's a wicked little critter with a sissy bar, and he lays a patch on the top. He's a wicked little guy. Wicked this little guy. He's a wicked little critter. He's a wicked little critter!
Wicked little critter!
He's a dink. Way to go. I like him. I got problems.
Wicked little critter!
There you go.
We love you, Cleveland. Oh, I'm sorry. Wow.
Hey, how are you?
John, it's so great to see you. John, how you doing? Welcome back. Wicked Little Critter, is that...
Wicked Little Critter.
What album was that from
After
originally?
the guy from Worcester, because that's
Yeah.
basically...
Worcester.
Yeah.
It's Wicked. That's how they say. They say Wicked.
what they
there.
say.
You would have understood that song.
It's wicked cool.
Intrinsically.
Yeah, yeah.
Bobby Orr.
Yeah, it was about hockey.
And then
Hockey.
all
Hockey,
things
everything.
Massachusetts.
He shoots, he scores. Spots. I love
cast.
spots.
Yeah.
You guys are so great. From Brooklyn, though, not from Worcester.
Actually, we met in Massachusetts.
Did you really?
So,
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, we
Oh,
went
that's
to
cool.
some nice suburban schools outside of Boston.
That's on Dial a Song, which that's a Rhino Records did this compilation, 52
Yes,
songs.
yeah.
It's wonderful, by the way. I've
It's
had it
great.
for about a month, and I just
Yeah.
listened to it over and over again.
Terrific.
What is the Wicked Little Critter from originally?
It's on the Mink Car album.
Mink Car.
Yes.
Right.
And there's actually a flash video of the Wicked Little Critter thing where I think you can play hockey.
There's some
with
guys playing hockey.
Yeah.
Hockey, spots,
You can
Wicked
play,
Little Critter.
You can play hockey online and listening to that song.
That's great. Now, you guys, I really quickly want to talk about some of the stuff that you brought along, because this was cool. John, you were...
Touch it.
Yeah, you can...
That is so
See?
cool. It's a scratch box.
Yeah.
So what is the idea?
You can be Terminator X, basically.
It just has there's a whole ton of presets. You can
It's like a
you can do a
theremin
bunch of
almost,
different...
a little bit, yeah?
It's got, I mean, basically you get to a program, there's like about 100 different sounds. And these are the ones I use in the live
Oh, that's
show.
so neat.
Yeah.
My favorite one. The Syndromes.
Wow.
So you can make like
70s.
Linda.
So you know that
Ronstadt
that's at the
songs.
top, though. So they're all positioned differently? Is
Yeah,
that
they're all different places, you know, you figure out where you want to...
It's, you know.
And you had this last time you were here. This is like a
Yeah.
sound effects box.
Yeah,
and
that's
you
right.
used that for the he shoots, he scored, and all
Yeah,
and there's
yeah.
different sounds like that. Now, this is kind of neat. You didn't have this last time, the pod.
No, this is this is basically just like anybody who has to go to a radio station. This is your best friend because you can sound like you can kind of do the,
It's got amps built into it. Is that a Marshall stack? What is
Yeah,
that?
it's pretty much like a Marshall stack in a very, very small.
Switched.
That's pretty
Yes.
cool.
Yeah, it's very
So you don't need to have the big speakers behind you because you're plugging into our soundboard, obviously.
No.
You wouldn't use this in concert.
You can replicate the sound of, bone-crushing volume at more moderated volume.
in your home, in
Yes,
your living
exactly.
room. Do you guys work in your living rooms?
We actually
Yeah.
both have home studios.
That's really cool. Hey, we should say hi to Dan.
This
right?
is Dan Hickey, our
Yeah.
drummer. Hello.
Nice job,
And
too.
he's
on
playing
that.
this crazy little Roland thing.
A
that,
Roland drum synth.
Yeah, which is antithetical to everything he stands for as a drummer.
Is it?
Yes.
I can get over that.
Do you think about the poor guy whose sample that you're playing there every time you hit that and think he probably got $12 for the sample?
I shed a little tear.
with every little thing.
Yeah.
And yet they sound so good. Who needs that guy? I mean,
Yeah.
the hell with him. I don't know where he is now.
Yeah.
He's probably out back in an alley somewhere.
Let's not
It's
talk
kind
about
of
that.
sad, isn't it?
He probably lives down the street from
Now, we were talking before the show about the new Apple online music thing. It
Yes.
doesn't matter to you guys whether they sell them in the record stores or online, does
The
it?
great thing about working with different record companies is after a while you realize you will never see another dime from them.
Long
So,
ago.
yeah, so we just do want to encourage people. Evidently, like
Particle
the
Man
first day,
is big, right?
Particle Man was like, it debuted at like number 6 on the Apple download. And we want to get it back up. That was a day ago. It's
Right.
slipped since then.
You
And,
guys
know,
don't play that anymore either, so you've
no,
got to
no,
buy
no.
it online.
No, it's basically like the wholly owned, unaccounted for property of Warner's
Warner.
Electro Asylum. But that's no hard feelings.
Well, you guys, really pioneered MP3s on the web. Dial-A-Song was
Yeah.
on a phone for years.
Right, exactly.
When did you start doing Dial-A-Song?
1983.
And that was
That's
just
right,
an
yeah.
answering machine. Somebody
Yes,
would call.
yes.
And you'd perform into the answering machine. I mean, you didn't.
We
even
would just
like-
record cassettes and then then transfer it to like a cassette answering
Oh,
machine.
okay.
And then we've had a computer-based one. And
The website's great now. It's
if
got a
anybody
machine.
knows of a really good MP3-based phone thing that doesn't
Answering machine
answering.
that runs on a computer.
Oh, we can get
Yeah,
one. Yoshi
we're
could
looking
make
for
you
it.
one of those.
This
We'll
is
get you one of
this
those.
is the trick of it. Is it the problem we always have is that they want you to either change phones, so it's a different service,
right.
and we're like 20 years invested in this number.
This company and this
So,
number. It's
yeah,
the same,
so-
isn't it the same number?
Yeah, it's just a
Wow.
local Brooklyn number. It's not a charge or
right.
anything. But we're trying to figure out how to get to the MP3 part of it. But this Apple thing is not MP3 based, which seems.
No, it's AAC, which is because they have to put copy protection.
But do you think that's going to? I mean, doesn't
It
that
sounds
seem-
good.
I'm
It's
sure,
actually as
it's,
good
no,
as
I'm sure it sounds
MP3.
good, but doesn't it seem like it's just destined for failure? I mean, isn't the
Well,
average
it's
19-year-old is not going to be interested in anything besides MP3?
No, you're right. It's a drawback, but it's meant for iPods and for Macs, and
Right.
eventually for Windows. But
Right.
so if you have an iPod, it's fine because the
Right.
iPod will play it back.
Right.
But you're right; it doesn't play back on any or many other MP3 players.
Right.
So that's a disadvantage.
I mean, it seems like MP3 is kind of the name of the game, right?
Absolutely, and
It's
you
the
guys
format of
are
choice.
doing it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Gigantic is a documentary about you guys.
Yes. And
Where did that come out? That's
well,
exciting.
these guys followed us around, I guess 2 years ago.
Here you're talking.
Glittering,
Actually,
you know,
Flansburgh's talking.
kind of punk rock heaven, and there was just kind of nothing left.
We had a whole lot of conversations about how we were going to do this, and I think it started with
Is
one
that
of us
Are you
wanting.
guys sitting on the waterfront there in Brooklyn?
Look at how thin I am there.
Look, who is that
just
guy?
crazy. Yeah, this.
That's a great shot.
AJ Schnock was the director, and he's a video producer that I worked with on some Ben Folds videos and some other
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
And he had this idea to do a film, and he just followed us around for about a year and interviewed everyone we've ever met. And it was very strange. I mean, we never would have thought that we would be a subject of a documentary.
You guys are huge.
But
That's
we
what's
also
neat
didn't
about
have any
you guys.
control over the film, so it seemed perfectly likely that it would be
Right.
it would tell the
Slam you.
unpleasant truth about
Right.
the band.
Behind the music,
which we're
because
not
of the rise and
particularly-
fall, when you got
Yeah,
into drugs and
yeah.
that whole thing.
Yeah. Well, the whole thing is that, we are, in fact, control freaks. We're affable control freaks, but we are control freaks. So, like, the idea of just having somebody else kind of tell your whole life story was a extremely unpleasant notion.
Did it
to
come
us.
out okay, though?
It
You happy
actually
with
It was
came out
great.
really
It's
good.
a really good. It's a very funny
it's
movie,
very
which is
interesting.
the most important thing about it, I think.
Yeah, and it's good for people who don't know anything about us. I mean, I think, it's like we're an obscure band, but it's a good way to be introduced
People
to us.
need to learn about They Might Be Giants. Dial-A-Song's a great way. Gigantic's a great way. And stay tuned. We're going to play another. You're going to play another song for
We
us?
like the way you're
All right.
thinking, Leo.
Yeah, I'm always thinking here. To find out which They Might Be Giants albums are our favorites and to tell us yours, check out the article at thescreensavers.com. I have to say Dial-A-Song because it's got 52 songs.
Good value.
Can't go
It's like
wrong.
a deck of cards.
It's the whole thing.
Yeah.
It's like that Saddam Hussein.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's like that.
The 55 enemies. We're gonna